Kamen Rider, Dragon Knight.
Today on review we are looking at Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, which is available on the Wii and probably very cheap by that point. Kamen Rider Dragon Knight is based off a live action TV show that went in 2010 on WB, which is also based on the Japanese TV series Kamen Rider Ryuki. So the story of Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, you play as any of the Rider from the TV show, except for one who have been cut out for whatever reason, and you pretty much follow the story of that character story arc. Might it be them wanting to be a soldier, or looking for their dad in the sense of the main character Dragon Knight, or revenge, or money, or whatever their soul desire for the which they will be granted for killing off every other rider. So, the gameplay of Kamen Rider Dragon Knight is mainly between a third-person beat-em-up with a straight-up fighting game. On the fighting game side, of course, you have arcade mode training and some other mode we will get to in a moment. But if you do arcade battle, it pretty much you go throughout a handful of battle fighting the distant rider. Two, you'll fight the main villain of the show called Xaviax, and as you are fighting, the game mechanics are mainly made up of a heavy, a light attack, and ability to summon one of your cards. So when you go through the game in some other mode, you will be given points, which you can buy cards for the character and make a deck which you can switch in between in battle. And how that work is more damage you do to someone, and over time a meter at the bottom of the screen will fill, and whatever card that you have activated you can use. Might it be summoning a weapon or summoning a advent beat to help you fight. And this is where the other two parts of the combat come from. You have your card that you can use, and then you got your final event, which require you to fill up this bar all the way to do a fancy attack that will do a large amount of damage to your opponent. And the fighting is fairly fun, if it's very basic, and can be quite enjoyed by many if you're just looking for a fun fighting game that doesn't require too much in the learning curve at all. But the other game mode here is called the Mill War, which is mainly made up of trials. And this is where the real game actually really starts here. Of course, you pick one of the rider, with most of them being locked from the start, and you go into a grid of missions that you pick from. Might it be a normal fight, or having to defeat somebody with a certain technique, or them having double health. And on some occasion, you will also have a third-person beat-em-up game. Well, this is of course the lacking side of the game. These can get extremely repetitive and boring after a while, with you only fighting two types of enemies in this, and the controls is not exactly made up to be a really good third-person beat-em-up. So some of these levels can be a little frustrating and kind of drag a bit. But as you go through that mode, like I said, you unlock points to buy cards, and you will unlock more characters for the overall game. So the game have a lot of unlockable, might it be the characters or the cards that you can unlock. And the story mode, and nothing to call home about. It pretty much is a basic story on whatever character you're playing as. But the game is fun overall, and if you're looking for a cheap, fun multiplayer beat-em-up game, right along with a little bit of fighting in between, I can't recommend Dragon Knight enough. So overall, I give Kamen Rider Dragon Knight for the Wii a 3 out of 5.